जल्दी चले जाओगे, अभी थोड़ा शांत बैठ जाओ। कि बायो साइंस को जाना है? हाँ? फिजिक्स तो है ही नहीं। हाँ, टुडे फिजिक्स वाले चले गए आज। आज से लाइब्रेरी चालू हुआ उन लोगों का। अच्छा, अच्छा, आप लोगों को जाना है, ठीक है, जल्दी छोड़ देंगे आज। हाँ। हम्म। तो ये कोर्स, तुम्हारा कोर्स और एक बार देख लो। हाँ, दो पार्ट है इसका। हाँ, दो लेक्चर्स आर देयर, टू टाइप्स ऑफ लेक्चर्स आर देयर। मॉड्यूल ए सेपरेट एग्जाम होगा। हाँ, ये फिर से चलता नहीं है, क्यों दिया है पता नहीं। So this module A, research methodology, 15 lectures, huh? And 1 credit. This 15, out of this 15, 3 I have taken. Huh? From tomorrow, madam will come and take the rest part. Huh? And the other part, research and publication ethics, there is 30 lectures. This may I have taken 14, 16 will be taken by Kallol sir. Here there is 2 credits. Okay. So that is what the credit requirement are there. Course coordinators and the lecturer's email ID we showed you first day. So from tomorrow, Remia madam will come. Okay, lecturer 2 in pink, and she will follow this whole part. She will do this whole parts in this module A, research methodology, the whole pink part, that is the testing of the results. Okay, so this is statistics. What we did was the introduction to research methodology, which I taught in the next part. Okay, in research and publication ethics, formulation and design is also there. So this part I took, and then again after madam's lecture, Kallul sir will take and come research ethics, and then publication ethics, intellectual property rights. You have to understand what are all these, and then I told the last part of research stage was pending. Huh? That is reporting and thesis writing. How to write a thesis and present it. Okay, and also how to present in conferences, oral presentation, posters, and all the softwares you will use. Okay, all those things sir will take. So these are the parts in black remaining, and the pink part will come from tomorrow. Okay. So these are the references. I went through this book, C.R. Kothari. Everything is there, but what in revision I tell you, we'll discuss only a few assignments which we are provided in class. I don't know how many of you have done, but online I have received many. Huh? All assignments and their answers are covered in lecture slides. Okay, just go before the exam, just go through those assignments once and the lectures, so that you will be able to cover most of the questions. One or two will be some tricky questions that I should ask, right? So rest of the part will come from the lectures only. Okay, and module A, research methodology. So this is the part I took, and here I gave few assignments. I'll just do one or few only. So we asked the question, what are the possible motivations for doing research in general? Huh? So these were, we did every class. Okay, we revised. So this is what the motivation is, that to get a research degree with its benefits. So I have marked it in bold, means you have to remember like that. Okay, मुझे degree मिलना है और उसका benefits चाहिए. Okay, that is one of the motivation. One is to challenge unsolved problems. Third is to get an intellectual joy of doing a creative work. Fourth is the service to the society. Many people have will to serve the society, so they do higher studies so that they can serve better. And fifth is to get respectively. So see, somebody asks, if the question comes, what are the possible motivation, you have to write like this. Or if some objective question come from them, you have to write true or false or fill in the blanks, something like that. Okay, or multiple choice. We will give objective and subjective both. So what are the objectives of research in general? Objective क्या क्या था? To gain familiarity, to portray accurately the characteristics, to determine frequency, and then to test a hypothesis. So hypothesis testing research. तो अलग अलग type का अलग अलग objective था. Yeah, okay. And then we did a Pasteur's quadrant, if you remember. Okay. So this is in x-axis. This is use, consideration of use in the positive direction, no use in the negative direction. Similarly, in the y-axis, fundamental understanding is positive in the positive direction and negative, no, in the negative direction. So one which falls in this quadrant, which is known as the Pasteur's quadrant, has both, means use as well as fundamental understanding. So both objectives are there, and these are user inspired basic research, means whatever basic research you will do is for some applied work. Okay, and it will solve some social problem. The other part, this is pure applied research. This is only some observation type. Okay, this will solve some problem, only solve the problem. Here it's fundamental research without any aim of solving a societal problem. We'll do the research. It may or may not solve the problem later on. Okay, So the primary aim is just to do fundamental research. So this was about Pasteur's quadrant. Then we understood what are research methods and what is research methodology. So method is the techniques which we follow, while methodology is step by step. All those things we did, research from hypothesis, from problem to hypothesis to research design, everything. Okay, and the methods is only the technique. So this is used to achieve the research objective, and this is to find a solution to the research problem. So there's a major difference. And then we did various type of research. Huh? What were those? That one was fundamental and applied research, descriptive and analytical research, qualitative and quantitative research, conceptual and empirical research. So this was done in the second class research methodology. Okay, first one. Okay, first three lectures, the second lecture, and all those answers like this. You remember? Oh, I just showed once. So if we state and explain in brief the difference between fundamental and applied research, you have to write fundamental research, applied research, and what does these two means with few examples. Okay, if possible. Okay, this is how the approach should be. So fundamental research, which is also known as pure basic or pure research, is undertaken for the sake of knowledge without any intention to apply it in practice. Intention nahi hai, but it can be applied. Okay. So just example, astronomy. Okay, and elementary particle research on identification of new particles. While applied research or action research is carried out to find solution to a real life problem requiring an action or policy decision. So example are increasing the efficiency of a machine or a chemical process, improving the properties of material having certain application, preparing vaccination for a disease. These are example of applied research. Similarly, find out means remember what does we what do we mean by descriptive analytical research, qualitative and quantitative research, as well as conceptual and empirical research. All these were done in class. Okay. Then we did the research stages one by one, 11 stages. Problem. So this was done in the third class in research methodology. And then if somebody asks write a short note on design, you can write something short. Okay. And then we went into details of each of these in the second portion, module B. Okay, each of these in details we had. In research problem we had one class, literature survey we had one, and then in one class I told you how you will write a literature survey, and then how to develop a hypothesis and how to design, do the research design. We had many classes, 4 or 5 classes I think. I don't exactly remember the data. Then on collection of data, analysis, hypothesis testing, generalization, interpretations, we have few classes. Okay, so if somebody asks you write short notes on each of these, you can do, because these were done in details. Then in every class I told you the techniques for defining the research problem. Okay, these are the 5: general, then understanding, literature survey through discussion with experts, and then converting to working proposition. And then what is the necessity of defining the research problem? Then we discussed. Quite often you will heard the problem clearly stated as a problem half solved. It helps to keep the researcher on track. Means the problem, since the problem is decided, they will not deviate. And questions like what data, what techniques, what are the relevant methods, what relations are to be explored, so that we can plan this strategy. So this is the what do we understand by a research problem. State the points to be considered while selecting a problem. So we have to, while problem, when defining a problem, you're defining a thesis style, you have to remember you will be defining some technical terms which is specific for your field. You have to be clearly defining this. Okay, don't use some abbreviations or something in the title or your problem. Okay, try to avoid. If you are using it, explain it. Okay, and then keep it in bracket. If you are using any assumption, you have to state that during problem definition. A straightforward statement is required, is generally expected. And also you should know the time period and sources of data you must consider. Okay, so these are the and in the problem state, within the problem which you are defining, the scope of the investigation and limits, there is the boundary within which you will work has to be defined. You should not cross it, because what will happen, you then go on deviating from your mainstream. And the benefits of literature review, we told that we gain familiarity with the knowledge, current knowledge, gain understanding of the theories, evaluate successful and unsuccessful assessment, prevent from duplication, and also analyze the significance of your additional research. So this helps you. What are the benefits in literature review? And purpose, we showed that it's, so if somebody asks in the question, mention the purpose of literature review, that is to gain a background knowledge, identify the concepts, appropriate methodology, research design, and methods of measuring concepts and techniques, and to identify data sources used by other researchers, to learn how others structures their report. So this is how you should write the descriptive answers. Just remember as much as possible. Okay, some points, and also we just begin composing a literature review based on class discussion. I don't know whether you have started or not, but this will definitely not come in this exam, this question. And how does one go about developing working hypothesis? How you will develop your working hypothesis? We understood that it is discussion with colleagues and experts, examination of data and records, literature survey, review of similar studies, and also exploratory personal investigations. Okay, in original field of your research. So this is what the how you develop your working hypothesis. This is in question answer wise. I'm just telling you today. And difference between research hypothesis and research question. So question, it's a question format, is curiosity driven, while this is a proposed answer. It is a statement format and it is testable. Okay, but research question was indifferent. So what are the features of a good research design? So good research design, what it will be? It will be flexible, definitely not rigid. Means if there is one route which is closed, you can adopt the other route. Appropriate, efficient, and economical. Okay, means you should maximize the reliability and minimize the bias. Smallest experimental error it should contain. Maximal information which will provide opportunity to consider many different aspects of the problem. So these were the features of a good design. We have explained in details. Today I'm just revising how you should write in questions. So what are extraneous variables? We did lot of classes on these variables: independent variable, dependent variable, extraneous variable, experimental unit, treatment, okay, control experiments, everything we did. So independent variables that are not related to the purpose of the study but may vary the dependent variable are termed as extraneous variable. So this is what there is extraneous variable. It will lead to an experimental error. So we should be aware and do constant control experiments. Okay, we studied many examples of this, and then we understood what is replication, and what is this is replication. Multiple experiments, instead of just two experiments, do multiple experiments, and we understood what is randomization. Okay, and also what is control, how to prevent extraneous variable on the study. Features of a good sample design. Sampling, we understood which are the result. A truly representative sample, a small sampling error, which will be according to the minimum funds availability. It should be such that no systematic bias is there, and it can be studied in general to the universe which you were considering. Okay, so that is a good sample design. We did informal experimental design. Okay, before and after without control design, after only with control design, before and after with control design. So in without control, only one area is there, because only treatment will be subject to one area. Control is not there. But when you apply control area, then there is a test area, experimental area, where you do the treatment, that is fertilizer, and in control area, no treatment. Okay, and then the effect is measured. And if you measure it before also and after also, then it is before and after with control design. We did this in details in 2 classes, I remember. And we did other research designs as well. So try to recapitulate: Latin square design, random replication design, simple factorial design, 2 group simple randomized design. What are the methods of collection of primary data? We did last class, that is observation, interview, questionnaires, schedules. Okay, and then what are the factors which you will be considering for data collection? That is nature and scope and object of inquiry, availability of funds, time factor, and precision required. I just rushed to because you have to leave fast, right? You have to go. You are more focused on reaching the lab instead. Okay. So I'll just, because all these things are done, I just wanted to tell you what we have studied in class and how, if you do it in question answer format, it will be easy for you to do it before the exam, because I don't know when the exams are scheduled. So difference between survey and experiment, did what are the common challenges in data collection? That is because we were dealing with data on sociology, no? So access to the participants. So your case, access to the equipment, sample size and representativeness. Okay, the sample size is important. Data quality control is important. Time and resource constraint. So these are the 4 challenges during data collection. And data recording, why it is important? Data recording, because it should be valid and reliable and replicable. Okay, so this is about data recording. And elements of data recording, we understood that recording, maintaining, and sample history, transparency, all these things are important. Okay. So recording the observations, we have to capture details. Every details I told you, you should write. Okay, this falls under research methodology. Maintaining proper record so that if there is some error later on you find, you can repeat it. Or if you do not have kept the record, you cannot replicate this study. And also, if you want to communicate with your supervisor or collaborator, it will help. Sample history you have to keep also, and transparency means the clear cut. There should not be anything which is not shown. Okay, so that the findings can be verified by others as well. So it ensures that the data is valid, reliable, and replicable. And then you do the interpretation. Okay, and then writing. Before writing, comes interpretations. With the data, you just interpret. So there are 4 techniques by which you interpret. And then this is all we have to take. But please remember, do all the assignments that have been done in class, all the lectures. You just follow all those things. If somebody wants to know extra, you can read. Many books are there. I have given a list of books. Online also, many courses are there, NPTEL courses, and so it's up to you. As long as as much as one wants to learn, they can learn. Okay, just before leaving, we'll just tell you that some common errors made in research. This is one which I didn't took, but okay, exam में नहीं आएगा, फिर भी देख लो. Selective observation, never do any selective observation. Okay, try to be unbiased as much as possible. Okay, inaccurate observation, overgeneralization. So I told you that I do a concentration dependent study from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, and then okay, it is extrapolate and tell it is valid for 10%, 20%. Don't do such overgeneralizations. Okay, remember that. Okay, you tell my data is up to that, so within that it will correct. Made up information. We should remember that we should not create any information. Okay, information is what we have got from the experiments. Illogical reasoning, we should remember, we should give some logic, and also if some proper literature is there behind the logic, it is helpful. Okay, ego involvement in understanding. Okay, मैं बड़ा हूँ, I am supreme. हाँ, वैसा थोड़ा सा नहीं रखेंगे तो अच्छा है, रखोगे तो ठीक है, कुछ नहीं कर सकते. प्रीमेच्योर क्लोजर ऑफ इंक्वायरी, हाँ, करते करते बीच में बंद कर देना, दिस इज नॉट करेक्ट. जैसे ही टोल्ड, सर ये तो डिसाइड हो गया, वी विल कंटिन्यू रिसर्च हियर. सो एट लीस्ट वन स्टेप यू हैव टोल्ड, हाँ, यू हैव गॉन अहेड. सो प्रीमेच्योर नहीं बंद कर. मिस्टिफिकेशन यू अंडरस्टैंड मींस हेजीनेस, ऐसा नहीं रखना है. एवरीथिंग शुड बी क्लियर, हेजीनेस से कुछ नहीं करना है. एंड व्हाट शुड बी द एट्रीब्यूट्स ऑफ अ रिसर्च स्कॉलर. ओके, मुझे मे बी वो आना चाहिए, दैट इज सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस. यू शुड हैव सफिशिएंट सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस. हाँ, dedication, whatever subject you take up, you should be dedicated to. हाँ, deviate या ठीक है कुछ और कर, ऐसा नहीं. हाँ, dedicatedly करो. One thing is very important is concentration. You need lot of concentration. You know the theory of flow. हाँ, no, psychology. It's so the more the concentrated you are, usko, she knows a lot of psychology things. So there is a theory, one psychologist, I forgot his name, Russian. Okay, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi was his name. Probably he that once you are in flow, automatically you will remain happy, and more uh, development, means technical and your intellectual development, you can grow up. That is possible only with the help of concentration. So many people have told that difference between an ordinary and great person lies in the degree of concentration. Okay, so concentration is very much required. Concentrated determination. You will definitely, many of you will face setbacks, but don't get disheartened. Analytical minds, cases solve करना है, वो चाहिए. Scientific discipline, हाँ, डिसिप्लिन मेंटेन करना है. हम खुद ही रखो कि मैं इतना काम करूंगा, इतने बजे उठना है, इस टाइम पे मेरे को जिम जाना है, इस टाइम में मेरे को खेलना है. लेकिन दिस इज अ टाइम वेयर आई शुड फोकस ऑन साइंटिफिक रिसर्च. मेंटेन दैट. ओके, योरसेल्फ. ग्लोबल आउटलुक हमेशा यू हैव टू कीप इन वॉच व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन ग्लोबली. हाँ, तो मेरा किताब में आ गया, सी देन इट इज डिफिकल्ट मेरा प्रॉब्लम में. सो ग्लोबली तुम्हारे प्रॉब्लम में क्या हो रहा है, you should be always aware. So you have to be aware what is the global outlook on your subject. Innovation approach is required, means whatever has been done, don't try to just do a delta thing slightly different and then change and explain it and do such experiments. Try to be innovative in your approach of selecting the problem as well as finding the hypothesis and testing it. Okay. Original, anyway, you will maintain it. Intellectual curiosity is there. That is why you are here. Flexibility is required. Okay. Freed from obsessions of clock and calendar. Okay. Anyways, keen observation, intelligence तुम लोग का है, passion for knowledge तो है ही, इसीलिए इधर बैठे हो. Questioning attitude, that is lacking, huh? No question I have seen, huh? Very less, huh? आज करेंगे, huh? Today. At least chemistry people will do. And anyways, passion for knowledge is already there. Spirit of inquiry, insight you require slowly will develop. Precision and accuracy, resilience to withstand temporary setbacks. This is important. As I was telling you, that we might get during research career in any field, in any part of our life, we get temporary setbacks. Huh? We have to have the willpower to overcome it, to come over it, and then again. हाँ, जैसे कल इंडिया पाकिस्तान मैच जीती जिन्होंने देखा है, तो 107 के बाद अचानक 2-3 विकेट गिर गया, बट अगेन वी वर एबल टू कम अप एंड विन द मैच. ओके, सो लाइक दैट in your research career such things will be there, but if you maintain persistence, okay, that is not a problem. Then ultimately with patience and persistence you will able to overcome that. Then maintain the social skills. Nobody is telling you ki stop WhatsApp or Instagram or anything. हाँ, Facebook सब चालू रखो, घर पे जाके बंद नहीं करना है. Along with that, we have to have presentation skills. So, you know everything, huh? And then stability classes, hai, and then you will present, and writing skill. These are very much important. Ultimately, you have to, whatever you do will come out with the help, you are presenting it and writing it in your thesis. Okay. So this is how things will come up. So thank you and all the best for your research. Okay. Thank you. On my part. Thank you. Chalo.